Hi guys, so October is gone and these last few months of the year are filled with all sorts of events, and I guess for the most people this is indeed the most wonderful time of the year. But for many others it's a challenging time, a time of stress, anxiety, loneliness and even depression. And for that reason today I wanted to talk to you guys about the 10 easy things I do to bring a bit of joy into the holiday season and help me cope with all that's going on around me. As well as to remind you that if you feel like you need professional help to deal with your feelings, you are not alone, and I sincerely encourage you to contact a therapist or any other professional to get the help you need to pull through. Just reach out, okay? So, why is it that such a colorful, happy, exciting season can be so hard? Well, there are several reasons actually, like when you have a tense or cold relationship with your family, or maybe something happened that created a temporary division and things just suck right now. Or maybe you love your wonderful, supporting family, but for whatever reason you can't be with them for the holidays and you will be all alone. Or maybe you suffered a loss in your family and the holidays just bring some deep, painful memories. Perhaps you're an introvert and you don't really want to have to talk to a lot of people just because it's that time of the year. Or maybe you just object to the whole extravaganza the holidays have become, all the consumerism and the money that gets spent on, well, things really, and the gift lists and the huge feasts of food no one is ever able to consume because it is all just too much. Many people end up going over budget to live up to their loved ones' expectations or to keep up with the Joneses, and it's overwhelming to say the least. Also, in these trying times, many people are going through financial difficulties, and the last thing they need on their plate is an expensive season of food and gifts and gatherings to add to their anxiety. Does any of this make sense to you? How are you feeling about the upcoming holidays? Leave me a comment below letting me know how you cope with all of it. I would love to hear from you. For me, personally, this season is my favorite time of the year. As soon as summer is done, I start planning and getting excited. But I can remember a few years when things were really hard, most of them in my 20s actually, like when my parents got divorced and our huge family gatherings end up split in two, or when my grandpa died and all I could see was his empty seat at the table. Even when I was recovering from burnout, I had just shut down my business and I felt like a bit of a failure and I dreaded having conversations with pretty much anyone. If I'm being completely honest, even today, things can easily slip because I just put too much pressure on myself, to plan everything and make sure people have a good time. Heck, I even put pressure on myself to have fun because time just flies and soon enough, the season is over. Silly things I try to keep in check with these really easy tips I'm about to share with you. So, are you ready to do this? Let's go. Okay, my first tip for you is don't feel guilty for how you feel or what you need. If you need to say a couple of no's, some invitations or some requests, if you feel overwhelmed and have to cancel at the last minute or something like that, don't feel guilty. Apologize for the inconvenience, but be proud of putting your self-care first. This is actually one of those things that are valid for the whole year actually, but there's that extra pressure at this time of year not to be a party pooper or a Debbie Downer. Oh God, I really hate those expressions, by the way. Just do you. Be as compassionate to yourself as you would be to anyone else. No worry, no guilt. Which brings me to my next tip, which is to be honest with your loved ones. You don't have to open up to just about anyone who invites you for anything, or do open up, whatever feels the most comfortable to you. What I'm saying is talk to people. Tell them that you're not feeling up to partying, or for example, if you can't afford to buy dozens of gifts, be honest and suggest doing a secret gift swap instead. We actually do that for the adults in our family. Each one of us draws a secret name and that's who we will buy a gift for, and we feel like it's just more meaningful that way because you can actually take the time to buy the best gift for that person instead of just running around buying dozens of gifts for everyone, ticking off names. It's just much more personal, I think. Next, allow yourself to take a break when needed. And that can mean pretty much anything, really. From saying yes to some gatherings and no to others when it gets too much, to taking a break during a gathering, to taking a walk or actually leaving if that's what you need. Again, it is all about self-care. Now, one thing you can do to take the pressure off beforehand is to decide to underdo it. That's right, underdo it and underdo it proudly. When you start planning your holidays, make lists of what you feel is manageable to you. And if that means putting up less decorations, cooking less food, sending less holiday cards or none at all, buying less gifts, that's what you do. I have been doing it for the last couple of years and I really recommend it, particularly when it comes to cooking. You know, I love a big table filled with all kinds of food, but I always end up regretting the waste because let's face it, there's only so much you can freeze, eat, or distribute. You can also ask people to each bring a dessert, for example, so you don't have to do so much. Anything that will leave your list clear of anything that will cause you anxiety. But if you decide to do that, remember to manage expectations. And what I mean by this is to try and make it a family decision as much as possible. This means, again, talking to your loved ones and deciding amongst yourselves what can be trimmed down and what is really important for them, what you can take care of and what can be delegated to them. You know, if they're used to you taking care of everything and then you just don't give them a chance to step up and handle the things that are important to them, odds are things will end up tense and stressful anyway. And that is the last thing you need. In fact, the point of this entire video is not only to make the holidays more bearable, but to actually make them fun for you. And one of the best tips for you is to set the intention of enjoying the holidays. You know, it may sound more complicated than it actually is, so bear with me. All I'm saying is, even before we enter the holiday period, take a quiet moment once a day, like when you wake up or when you're about to go to sleep, and make the conscious decision to open yourself up to happiness and well-being, to be more mindful of the little moments that bring you joy. And as you do this, you will start to notice things that make you happy that you probably wouldn't have noticed if you weren't paying attention, you know, if you weren't looking for them. And as you are given these little gifts of happiness that put a smile on your face, you will create a happiness cycle for your life, just at the right time for having the most fun during these holidays. And while we're at it, why not be a bit more open to participating in the cheer of the season? Let it all soak in. Participate in the games and the traditions that are the most comfortable to you. Play, laugh, you know, have fun. Soon enough, you will realize it isn't as bad as you thought. Now, tell me, are you enjoying this video? If so, please give it a thumbs up to let me know. Also, if you're looking for more content on living a kick-ass life and enjoying it to the fullest, subscribe to this channel. You know, I publish new videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, plus my inspirational shorts you can watch after this one. Now, another thing you can do once you open yourself up to savoring the moment is to reach out to others. You know, maybe during your family gatherings, there are a couple of cousins that you never really took the time to talk to and that you only see like once a year. Or maybe during a holiday dinner, you strike up a conversation with your friend's new partner, you know, someone you never considered talking to. Ask genuine questions, take time to connect with them. It may be a waste of your time, or it may be that that person is actually really fun and you enjoy yourself around them. I'd say it's worth the risk, don't you think? Next, here's another tip that is also great as a year-round practice, which is to be grateful. You know, regardless of how much you're struggling, I'm willing to bet that there are plenty of things in your life to be grateful for, that there are plenty of blessings in your life. And as you recognize those blessings, your outlook will be less negative. As you realize how fortunate, we may even say lucky, you are, you will start to appreciate more and more of what surrounds you, like the people who love you, the connections you have with them, everything you've got going for you. And if you're looking for more things you can do to make you feel good about yourself and your life, here's another. Practice generosity. And we all know that being generous is even easier during the holiday season. You know, being generous, helping someone out is the best way to release all the right feelings in your brain. There is a unique feeling of happiness and purpose when you change someone's life for the better without expecting anything in return. And I don't even mean a big thing, you know, helping a friend with something they need, holding the elevator door for someone who's in a rush, small things you can do that will make you feel generous and good about yourself. It's actually quite addictive. But, and this is important, don't forget to extend your generosity to the most important person there is, yourself. Now, I will say this, if after trying all of this, your reality still isn't working for you, create a new reality. You know, which is to say that if your holiday traditions don't work for you, if you dread spending time with your dysfunctional family, if you have to spend the holidays alone and there's nothing you can do to prevent it, create your own very special, unique traditions. You know, meet up with your friends instead or your neighbors. Volunteer to work at a food bank, you know, and spend the time you would be spending sulking alone at home or stressed at a family gathering actually doing some good. And if you're okay with being alone, cook your favorite meal with love and care and make an event out of it. And if none of these options are available to you, travel alone if you have to. Make it a tradition to know a new corner of this earth every year during the holidays. Learn how other people experience this magical time and leave everything that troubles you behind. Do whatever you want, whatever feels good to you. Try different things and see what sticks. Just never, ever give up on yourself and your happiness. Next, watch this video about the 7 signs that fear is ruining your life and what you can do to take away its power. That is it for me today, and I'll see you over there. Bye bye!